Welcome to Chamber Talk. We've got a great show today. I have Mayor Phil Best. Mayor,
Good morning,
thank you
sir.
for being on the show today.
Yeah.
Mayor and I are going to be talking about 2017, kind of doing a year in review for you today. And Mayor, what a year we had here in Dublin.
I tell you what, it was just always busy. Always a lot of good things going on.
You know, one of the things that we're actually featuring on an upcoming Chamber publication, matter of fact, the front cover will be a picture of the new bridge coming into Dublin.
Right.
Talk about that just a little bit.
Well, I mean, you know, it's the bottom line is it's put the folks on that side of the river 15 minutes closer to downtown Dublin, which puts them 15 minutes closer to anywhere in Dublin. It's well, I've talked to several people that have experienced that, and they say it's just a tremendous asset to be able to get to town that much quicker. And of course, our merchants all over town appreciate them being able to get here quicker.
Right, and I think it's something maybe even as a quality of life issue. You know, we don't like to think about people leaving our town, but
Right.
reality is people come and people go.
Right.
But it makes it even enhances the quality of life for the folks here when they can go visit people. And that's all we want them to do is go visit, and certainly we want them
That's
to come
right.
right back.
That's right.
But a great accomplishment for the folks and a city, county, again, everybody working together there to come together and
Exactly
make
right.
that happen. And it was years in the work. And along those lines, I want to lead into our public officials, our folks that keep us safe
Right.
on a daily basis. Storms this year. Great.
You know,
great
we had
work.
two storms, two major storms. Dublin was probably impacted more by one than the other. But you know, all I can say is kudos to the Don Bryant and to the entire public safety community, because they've gotten to the point we don't want to have to handle it, but when we do handle it, they've gotten it down to a science. I mean, these last two were just perfectly executed, and they really deserve congratulations.
Absolutely, and whether that's fortunate or unfortunate,
Right.
we've had some practice
Well, it's good to be
get ready,
prepared.
and we've not had anything really major hit Dublin. But I believe if we ever did, I think we would be as prepared
I do
as,
too.
as can be.
I feel comfortable.
Police department, and Tim Chapman and the folks with the police department, they continue to work on transformers and other programs. It
Right.
seems like just program after program. They're working in the school system with children.
Just unbelievable.
And even
Like-
a bike patrol office, I believe now.
That's right. We've got that at our Stubbs Park area where the city obtained 4 properties. The bike precinct is located there now. It's been a great presence in that area. You can already see houses being renovated. I don't know if folks are familiar with the one on the corner of Church Street and Moore Street. A beautiful home that was just sitting there a year and a half ago, just totally dilapidated. In the park itself, there's been a lot of work, and I think that can be attributed to people feeling more comfortable with the area.
Absolutely. I ride through there often, and Mr. Reese Blackwell and all of the folks on that land bank authority
Right.
there, I've traveled with them to some other towns to look at what other communities have done. They got a lot of great ideas, a lot of momentum, and I think we're going to see a lot of good happening there in the upcoming year.
I think so too.
Let's talk a little bit about business downtown.
Okay.
And that's one of my favorite things. And you and I, every now and then, we like to go to a restaurant.
That's right.
Some of the new businesses downtown, Miller and Company, Local Yokel throughout the year. And certainly it seemed like all year long, that one corner right there coming through town where the Bank of Dudley was working.
Yeah.
Even coming to the studio today, I passed by and just thought, wow, what a beautiful work they did there.
Yeah, that Bank of Dudley had us looking like downtown New York City there for a while with the tunnel coming through and the scaffolding up front, but it turned out marvelous. And I don't know if you were able to make the grand opening or not, but I know you've probably been there. But the inside of the bank is just astonishing. It really tied in 4 buildings. It's just a tremendous asset to our downtown, and another way that people should feel comfortable in investing in downtown. When you see people like the Bank of Dudley investing the millions of dollars they did in this project, that speaks well for the area.
Mayor, bring us up to speed a little bit. I know you probably know a little bit more about this. I'm sure you do than I do, but maybe even a lot of our viewers. But right across on the other corner from Bank of Dudley, there's a lot of construction. It's funny when you ride by, you know, people look up and they say, well, look, there's trees growing out of the roof up there. But tell me what Mr. Nash is doing over there.
Well, it's Billy and Leanne Nash have been back in Dublin for about 8 years now, or they actually live in Dudley. And they have invested a tremendous amount of money in the downtown area, not only on that corner, but other buildings too. In that particular corner, you got Miller's on the bottom, which is a very, if you haven't been by there, it's an upscale, good-looking business that's going to do home furnishings and design, interior design. A great couple there. The upstairs is going to have 6 condos. I think it's 2 one-bedrooms and 4 2-bedrooms. My son's company actually is property managing that for the Nashes, and we've already leased 2 of those.
Wow.
Pre-leased them for February. He's got other things going on down the line that he's going to do. I think he jointly with Michael Maffitt has bought they're doing the old Corker building.
Okay.
And they're going to, Michael's going to have his insurance office there, and then the top of that's going to be condos as well. So it's just,
a lot of work going on.
And really, if you think about it, Heath, the plaza that's being under construction, it would have never happened without that.
Right. So all of this growth just spurs more growth.
That's right.
And I hope we continue to see that going forward. Right. I feel certain that we will. With the growth that we've had and just the conversations that we're hearing around town. Right. Mayor, we're going to take a real quick commercial break, and we'll come back and talk about some more exciting things that happened in 2017 and look forward to 2018.
Hi, I'm Chuck Harwell. I want to say thank you to the community for allowing us to help you in your financial plans. If you're looking for a personal banker to assist you in meeting all your financial needs, then let me invite you to stop by our location on Bellevue Avenue in Dublin. You'll love our location, our services, and especially our people. Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, the bank that's service-built, where common sense banking never goes out of style.
When this last storm came through, I think it was Sandy, we were out for 7 or 8 days, and we were the only ones with power. When the power goes out, there's probably about a 6 or 8 second delay, and then we get a staged recovery. It takes less than a minute, but everything's on within a minute. The furnace is running, the lights are on, the TV's on, the washer, the dryer, the oven, everything. To me, this generator has paid for itself several times. If I lost power right now, these pipes could very easily freeze in probably a day or 2, and that would cause significant damage. And maybe insurance would cover it once, but I really don't want to go through having my walls torn out and the pipes replaced. My family's going to be safe and secure in my house because of this generator. That gives you that feeling of security that, to me, is priceless.
Would you like the peace and security starting today? Then call the City of Dublin Natural Gas. The City of Dublin Natural Gas, the smart choice.
Welcome back to the show. Mayor, I absolutely love to sit and talk about growth and new businesses and things happening. Right before we went to the break, we were talking about some of the things in the downtown area. One of the restaurants we failed to mention in the first part, or not necessarily a restaurant, but certainly a place that you and I like to frequent, is Sweet Tea's Bakery.
Oh yeah,
right
Sweet
here
Tea's.
In downtown.
Let me tell you, that is a phenomenon.
Yes.
I tell you, when they came in, and this lady, Tony, comes in from Las Vegas. And says she wants to rent the old bakery beside our office, Premier Properties office, and that she's going to put a bakery in there. And I said, well, you having donuts and such as that? She said, no, we're going to mainly do candied apples, different flavors of candied apples. And I was going, well, this is going to be something to watch now. But it is amazing the traffic that
Mm-hmm.
you see coming in and out of that building. And not only that, she does cheesecakes, one of the most delicious cheesecakes you've ever put in your mouth, and other stuff.
Right.
But the candied apples and the people just coming there.
Oh, they're
I'm like,
amazing,
God,
though.
I've not tried one.
Oh, I
but,
have. They're good.
But she'll cut them up for you,
Yes.
or whatever you want to do. But she's doing a great job.
Well, and so we have that growth going on the backside, not just the main street coming
Right.
through town, but there's some other things going on
Well,
there
the
as
old
well.
Roberts Electric building, or as Ron described it a little earlier, the old Badcock building right behind the Bank of Dudley. Ray Yoder and Matt Walden have bought that building. They've already started some selective demolition in it and are in the process of getting some historical tax credits squared away, and their development plans, I'm not sure what they are, but they're going to save and develop that building.
Okay, and then there's Sheldon's, right? And just restaurants and bakeries and growth
Yep.
everywhere.
Sheldon's is right behind where Seal and I live, in the Fred Roberts building, in the little strip shopping center on Monroe Street. I knew when it moved there that would become Seal's Kitchen.
There you go.
No, I better take that back. I'm joking. I'm joking, honey.
Yeah.
But no, it has been it's been a lot of good traffic. It's good vegetables. Something we didn't have downtown.
Lots of ribbon cuttings downtown. Blush relocated to the downtown
Right.
area. Another one of my favorite restaurants, other than we go to Dino's quite a
Right.
bit, right across the street. Rich has Company Supply.
Exactly.
They're expanding.
They're doing an oyster bar in the building beside them, and last I heard, it will be online probably mid-January, end
Okay.
of January. So that's just it's amazing.
Growth, and I'm sure, and I apologize if we left someone out.
Yeah.
There's been so much, and that's just a wonderful thing. The Chris Kendall Market this year during the holidays.
It was amazing.
The theater and the screen and all the work that they've done at the theater this year, the whole downtown development group there, downtown Main Street, Dublin.
It's I've said this recently, and if you living there and seeing the activity year round in downtown now, and at the plaza, Bicentennial Plaza, and across the street at Morris Banks Park, the downtown is not Dublin's downtown, it is Lawrence County's downtown. You see people from all over
Right.
coming to enjoy the amenities. And,
Right.
and if I could, Heath, I'd like to stop just a second and say there's a lot of people. I mean, we can't start naming people.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that have made this happen. But one thing I do want to say is I'm always the one that gets to sit here and talk about it. But without our Dublin City Council voting to approve this stuff and to make it happen and being on the positive end of this, it wouldn't happen. And I really want to say that I represent the Dublin City Council by sitting here today. They're doing a great job.
Absolutely, and to show that there was a recent election, and you got the same council
That's right.
moving forward, so
That's
people
right.
have confidence in the work that they're doing and support them and appreciate them.
That's
So,
right.
and you did say, and you're absolutely correct, and we could never ever, and again I want to apologize
Yeah.
if we left out a new business that relocated or somebody that did something. Until you get to talking about it, you don't realize just
right.
how much took place this year just in the downtown area.
That's right.
But not just in the downtown area.
That's right.
The city has a great function and privilege and resource with all the utilities and the gas work. One of our largest investors in industry in Lawrence County's history.
Right.
You guys are running gas to them now, and
We've got
them up and running that
we
furnace.
had to make an investment of a pretty substantial amount to run a gas loop to Valmera, and of course that was just a drop in the bucket to the investment they're making. They're online as we speak to cranking up their furnace, which is a big deal. I understand that furnace cannot go down for 18 years,
Right.
or somewhere. So that's that's a big deal, and they're going to be a good gas customer, and they're going to employ a lot of people. And they've been a pleasure to work with.
Lots of good work going on
Yeah.
out there as well. Mayor, tell me what else with the city as far as this year, and then we'll get into next year. But any other thing? I mean, I said in council meeting after council meeting this year, and you guys are so many things that are being worked on that I'm sure we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. But just the work that goes on in those council meetings, and the whether it's sewer lines, and some of that stuff's not all glamorous and fun to talk about on TV, but people like to have proper running water in their homes.
We had several projects, like we say, those aren't the pretty projects, but we had several sewer rehabs, several water line extensions. I won't go into, people usually don't really care, other than they just, when they flush the toilet,
It's
they want it to
working.
go, and when they cut the water on, they want it to work. But we've spent millions of dollars repairing that. One other quick thing that is pretty that I want to talk about is Rebecca McWilliams spearheaded a lights, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was lights in Stubbs Park this year. And I don't know if you rode through there, but they had Christmas decorations all throughout the park.
Beautiful.
And next year, I can imagine
It'll
that
be
it's
twice
even
as
gonna be
much.
better. So that's something I'd put on my list for next year if you want to see something pretty at Christmas.
Okay, so with the downtown and the
Well, with one
Stubbs
thing
Park,
the Martin Luther King monument.
Martin Luther King
that was
monument's
a
huge.
you know, that was not a city per se project. That was a community project, and people went around raising money and were successful at that. And I guess Rebecca McWilliams, again, I got to call her name out again. She really
Huge
spearheaded
part.
helping with that, but it's already brought in so much tourism, and it's just been a pleasure for folks to. It's a very historical monument in our downtown, and I think it's going to be a benefit to us for years to come.
I think so, and something sometimes we don't do as good a job maybe as we could. I didn't realize that was the church right there where the first speech was given. So I took an opportunity to get a picture made in there while we were there. But the other thing I do remember when that took place was for weeks in the newspaper, donations, large sums of money that were being donated, and then the beautiful work that's been done there. So
And GDOT has agreed to do the road right beside. They've got a $50,000 commitment to redo the entrance there around the landscaping and such.
Tell me, Mayor, looking ahead. Well, you know what? Let me get one more thing in here, because I know these gentlemen and appreciate them. We had a couple of folks retire this year with some long tenure with the city.
That's right. We had Chief Pat Ballard, who had been with the city a long time, and he retired as our fire chief. And then Joe Kynard. You know, Joe was the city clerk financial officer for the city of Dublin for 30 years. And in that 30 years, we received the Financial Excellence Award every year.
Wow.
And I saw Joe as recently as 2 weeks ago. Oh no, actually Christmas, Friday before Christmas. And he seems to be doing good and enjoying his retirement, but he was one of those guys that didn't get all the fanfare, but he really he's got our city in a very good financial position.
Right, and I'll let you know with Mr. Kynard, he's still active and involved in the community. He's joined the chamber as an individual, and participates regularly with our ambassador team. So we appreciate Mr. Ballard and Mr. Kynard and all their work. And again, that says what a great job you guys are doing, and all the folks at the city with providing a positive work environment and just a good place of employment for people to stay with you for that many years.
Right.
Let's talk about 2018.
Okay.
What do you see on tap for 2018?
Well, you know, there's some pretty big projects that will come into play. We've got the Hillcrest. We probably in 17 up through now, we've got 90% of the right-of-way acquired. The letting for Hillcrest widening is probably going to be in the spring or early summer of 18. The construction will start in probably by fall of 18.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that's going to be a biggie. We've got our water park that will be in the design and bidding phase at Southern Pines Recreational Authority. And we're looking to be opening there in the spring of 19, but the construction should be going on this year.
Okay.
We've got Stubbs Park expansion. If you remember on earlier shows, we talked about the T-Splash and the work that we're going to do around Moore Street and the roundabout and the traffic diversion. Well, part of that project is the expansion of Stubbs Park. That's going to be a big project, but it will actually come into 19 and 20, but the planning and design will begin this year.
It's still hard for me to get used to saying 2020 and
Oh, yeah.
2021. And so let me back up for just a second. The expansion of Hillcrest Parkway, just in case
Yes,
there's
sir.
someone watching the show that's not aware or has not heard, we're going to expand Hillcrest Parkway from end to end
That's
to be
correct.
4 lanes.
It'll be 4-lane from 441 to Veterans Boulevard, 80, and then it'll be multi-lane, but not median, not 5-lane from 80 to Industrial Boulevard.
Okay, and any idea which end of Hillcrest that the construction, does anybody know where it might start?
I do not.
Okay.
And usually, typically, unless we request it to start on one end before the bidding, then the contractor has that prerogative to.
Whichever they
Of course,
see fit.
they've always worked with us
Okay.
very closely.
Okay, and you mentioned the water park. I want to go back real brief
Okay.
and just touch on a little bit of that for folks. I think we've done some shows, but just in case there's somebody watching today that's not aware, talk about the amenities with the water park.
Okay.
Exactly what's being done? There's a lot of, some people in the community heard this or heard that. Let's
It's
try
going to be,
clear
it's not through with design yet, so we got to get through that part of it. And we've got a committee with the city working with Danny Jones at the Rec Authority to do that. But if you can imagine, it's going to be similar to Splash in the Borough.
Okay.
It'll have water features, it'll have a lap pool, it'll work into our existing splash pad.
Right.
So it will be a
So lazy river,
lazy
couple water
river type
slides.
thing. One thing that's still up for discussion that I hope really can stay in there because of the competition swimming is the covered part of the pool, and even if we have to put that in phase 2 of it, take for instance Trinity Christian School out here. They do competition swimming. There's conversation going on now between Trinity and the city and the rec department. that,
Okay, maybe
maybe
doing
do.
that.
And the county has agreed to do some in-kind work for us, and so it's coming together,
Okay,
and it needs to come together.
absolutely.
Springdale Lights.
Springdale.
Y'all know where Springdale comes
I know
into
exactly
80.
what you're talking
And we have begged, we have done everything you could do to get that light. And we finally, last year, were successful in getting the traffic counts we needed.
So we
to
did get the numbers.
We did get the numbers, and that is done. The paperwork has been swapped, and it should be in place, I'm hoping, within the first 6 months of 18.
Oh, wow.
And how anyone could think there didn't need to be a light there, I don't understand. But that's one we've worked on for 10 years, and a lot of people have worked on it.
Okay.
County, city, Buddy Adams, Matt Hatchett, before him, DeBose. I mean, it's been
Right, it's been in the works for a while.
been in the works for a while.
So for the people watching the show that stayed with us from the beginning today or just got in, they got to see something or hear something
Yep,
that a lot of folks hadn't heard about
That's a
yet.
good
So,
infrastructure project that we are going to get in place.
absolutely, that's exciting. Mayor, we're going to take one more quick commercial break. We'll come back and wrap
All right.
things up.
Choose the convenience of Neighbors Express and get friendly, courteous service every time you visit any of our convenient locations. Fill up with pay at the pump, and take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. Buy 12 packs of Pepsi products, 2 for $6.99. Enjoy the popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. Also enjoy a fresh, hot breakfast. Stop by for lunch or dinner. It's always fresh, always convenient at Neighbors Express. Now located at I-16 and 441 and in Cedar Grove, providing farm fuel for all our customers. Count on the convenience of Neighbors Express.
What if there was a paint that had the power to awaken something old, or painfully dated, or something you simply thought was lost forever? Because it could form a strong bond regardless of age. If a paint could give any time-worn surface stunning new life, you have to wonder, is it still paint? Regal Select Exterior from Benjamin Moore. Only available at independently owned paint and hardware stores.
Available at Four Seasons Paint and Floor Covering.
Welcome back to the show. Mayor, just wow, wonderful.
Yeah, there's some good
2017.
stuff going on.
Super excited about 2018. And while we're on that, you and I were talking during the commercial break about something that is very important that may not seem as important, but it generates tons of revenue for the city of Dublin. But some of the work that you do that's not right here within the city. Talk about that for just a minute.
Well, we have Central State Hospital Redevelopment, Land Redevelopment Authority is an authority that Governor Deal created to try to, the mission of it was to take the Central State Hospital property and 1, create jobs, and 2, do away with sale or the surplus property.
Okay.
And get it off the state's taxes. Well, Mike Couch, who is the developer, he used to be involved in the BRAC surveys that used to go on retired military, has taken that on, and he has done a tremendous job with that. Well, through some other business dealings, and Mike and I became friends, but what has happened is the city of Dublin and Central State Hospital Land Redevelopment Authority are partnering to manage the gas system for Central State Hospital properties. And that within itself may sound like not much of a deal, but it will be a great generator of revenue for the city of Dublin and for that authority.
And not to put an exact number out, but we're talking in the
Couple of
hundreds of thousands of
$100,000 a year for each after the first year.
Right.
You know, you'll have a lot of expense of getting set up, but we will literally manage it. We'll have boots on the ground up there and equipment, and it'll be just like our system here in Dublin. You know, we do it in Irvington, we do it in McIntyre.
Right.
This will just be another expansion of the gas department. And I want to thank Josh Powell, our attorney, and Lance Jones and Michael Clay for helping to coordinate and put that together.
That's awesome. So with that, Mayor, leading into 2018 again, and I don't want to, I know you don't like to talk about all the things you do and how you do them, but you're in a really prominent position with the GMA as well.
We have, Georgia Municipal Association has been a great organization, one of the best trade associations type businesses I've ever seen or been associated with, and I've been with the realtors and construction, but they're good. Anyway, I was fortunate enough several years ago to get into the leadership role there, and this year I am the second vice president, which it runs from June to June. So next year I'll be first vice president, and if I live and everything goes
Lord's plan,
then I'll be the president in the following year, which will be a good thing for Dublin and Lawrence County. It's certainly a good network for us to have, and you get to meet a lot of good folks across the state of Georgia.
Well, and I think you're mentioning that, and it's a great way for us to lead into the close of the show here. But you mentioned earlier in the show about Dublin being the hub for Lawrence County here.
Right.
And we do want Lawrence County and this entire region to prosper and to grow, and the relationships that you have, that you work on a daily basis. The folks that I work with chambers down in Baxley, Appling County, the Warner Robins, We got to promote a strong region here so that we can all be successful. Mayor, if you would, take just a minute and tell the folks how much we appreciate them and how much we look forward to a prosperous 2018.
It's just I tell you, the people of Lawrence County and Dublin are the ones that make what happens happen. If we didn't have the support of the leaderships, the civic clubs, the faith-based communities, we just couldn't make it. We've got a bright future ahead of us. We need to continue to try to work together and look for ways that we can come together and not separate. And that's the biggest thing. If there's something that we can all try to do that next year, I'd say let's see for more ways we can work together.
I think at the end of the day, we're all pushing for the same goal.
That's right, absolutely.
And if we can get sometimes some individual thoughts and desires out of the way and look for the common good of this community, we can do a lot of.
We'll let Congress be Congress, and we'll do it our way down here.
There you go. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you being on the show.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us today. Before we close today, I do want to remind you of one really important event we've got coming up. We're celebrating the 65th annual meeting of the Dublin-Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce. The theme this year is Dublin-Lawrence County Rocks, and we're going to have a rocking good time on January 26th at the DuBose Porter Center. If you're interested in attending that event, give us a call at the Chamber or look us up on our website, and we'll be glad to squeeze you in there. We are close to 300 people in attendance, so that event will be sold out in the upcoming days, but we'd hope to see you there. And we always like to close by reminding you that it's a great day for business in Dublin-Lawrence County.